Hello, this is David, and in this video I'm going to be conducting a technical analysis of my 50 meters freestyle race from the Sheffield Teaspoon Gala 2024. For those of you that watched my video last weekend will know that I came in with a personal best time of 28.30 seconds, beating my previous personal best by 0.01. So close there. However, why did I achieve that personal best, and what are things that I can look to improve on in the future, especially given that Masters Nationals is only just around the corner. So if you give this video a like, I'd very much appreciate it. Follow and subscribe for more swimming content, but otherwise, without any further ado, let's dive right in to today's technical analysis. So unfortunately, I don't have any race footage of the 50 meters freestyle, so I'm going to have to describe it to you. I reacted well to the starting buzzer, but didn't get the trajectory or the force off of the blocks that I was looking for, and therefore my time through the air wasn't as much as I want it to be, which in turn affected my entry into the water and subsequently the initial underwater kick phase, both of which I'm not particularly happy with due to that start off of the blocks. Despite that though, I managed to get some good speed from my stroke going down the first 25, using more of a straight arm recovery as opposed to the bent arm recovery that I've been looking to try and implement most recently. And similarly, my stroke rate wasn't as high as I wanted it to be. I executed my tumble turn well, which I was rather happy with, given that this was the part of the race that I was most concerned about, because it's something that I always seem to get wrong at Ponds Forge due to the depth of the water and knowing when is best to actually initiate that turn. I put in a good underwater kick phase coming out from the wall, and similarly go strong down the second length. First off, only putting in one breath throughout the entire of the 50 meters, which is a new best for me. I've only previously been able to go a 50 meters on 2 breaths before, so getting that down a breath to 1 is something that I'm really happy with. And coming down that second 25, it was a similar story to the first 25, although I got some good speed. Again, my bent arm recovery wasn't quite as bent as I wanted it to be, nor was my stroke rate as high as I wanted it to be either. However, I come in and finish well with a personal best time of 28.30 seconds. So the first thing that I want to discuss about that swim is the dive. As I said, I didn't get the trajectory or lift off the dive that I really wanted, and therefore didn't spend as much time in the air. Similarly, my entry into the water wasn't quite as smooth as I would like it, and therefore this is really something that I need to tidy up. It seems as though the more that I try when it comes to the dive, the less good that I actually execute it. And so I think this is something that I really need to focus and work towards making more natural, because when I perform a dive naturally, it's nice, it's smooth, it feels nice and easy, whereas when I try really hard it becomes quite clunky, and therefore I just think it would be better if I can make that the execution of my dive a lot more natural. So I need to just get that really hard push off the blocks with my legs, the throwing back of my arms, and the throwing forward of both my head and upper body. Need to make that one nice natural movement, not trying too hard in any one area, just so it becomes fluid, natural, and I get as much lift and the best trajectory as I possibly can. So the next aspect that I want to talk about is my stroke rate, because I feel as though this was what let me down in not getting a more comprehensive personal best. I feel as though a sub 28 was really on the cards here today if I brought my absolute all, and sadly that wasn't the case. And I think that this is the reason why. And what I failed to do in this race, which I did in the AP International 50 meters freestyle race, was that when my hand into the water, I was a lot better at immediately engaging the pull. I have this natural way of swimming freestyle where when my hand goes in the water, I tend to pause and do a sort of a catch-up stroke, as opposed to my arm going in and continuing by starting that pull. So that is something that I need to work on, make a little bit more natural, especially for when I'm doing a 50 meters freestyle, because here catching the water is a little bit less important than getting the stroke rate up higher. For the 100 meters freestyle, you want to make sure that you've got a little bit more efficiency in your stroke than with the 50, whereas with the 50 it's all about raw power. So for the main part, that means getting your arms ticking over as quickly as you possibly can. Don't get me wrong, naturally the more water that you catch and are able to pull back with each stroke, the faster that you are going to go. However, for the 50 sprint, stroke rate has a little bit of a higher priority than getting the utmost efficiency out of your stroke. So making that switch, making that mental note for me to engage that freestyle technique on a 50 meters freestyle is going to be key for me to ultimately get quicker at this event. It's something that I know I can achieve constantly, consciously rather, but I have to remind myself in order to do it. I managed to do this at the AP International meet and as well at the European Masters Long Course Championships. However, I need to make sure that I'm able to do it on a consistent basis. So I think this is something that I'll be able to achieve for Masters Nationals relatively easily, but I've got to go in with that intention. Then the final thing to comment on in this 50 meters freestyle race is the number of breaths that I took throughout its duration, which is the positive to take away from this event, as I managed to do the entire 50 only taking one breath, which is a personal best in of itself for me. Ideally on the 50 meters freestyle you want to take no breaths, so go the whole distance without breathing whatsoever. However, I am at current unable to do that, and the reason why I'm so chuffed that I managed to do it on one is because I've never managed to do that before when sprinting. I've managed to do it in training when undertaking it as a drill, but because when you're sprinting it takes a whole lot more out of you, I find it harder to achieve when sprinting than when going at a reasonable 50 meters freestyle pace, because naturally there's a balance between the amount of time that you are spending with your head under the water and the amount of energy that you are burning up. So really happy with that. Previous best, as I said, was 2 before, so hopefully I'm going to be able to replicate this again in Masters Nationals, especially when I'm feeling a little bit more fresh and up for this race. I went in a little bit tired due to my intensive training regime, so after a little bit of a taper, I'm confident that this will be replicatable at Masters Nationals. So one positive to take away from that swim that I'm really happy with. So that concludes this technical analysis, and overall it's a swim that I have to be happy with, as it is indeed a personal best. A little bit disappointed not to go faster, as you probably could tell based on my long course efforts earlier this year. I was expecting to go a little bit faster. However, on the basis that this is the first race of short course season, it's been a while since I last raced, so I'm a little bit out of practice there, and the fact that I was feeling quite tired and a little bit sore due to the intensive training that I've been doing. It's not surprising really that I wasn't able to achieve the type of results that I wanted to at this gala. However, going into Masters Nationals, hopefully that is going to sort things out, as I'll be going in a lot more rested and raring to go. So fingers crossed that in a month and a half's time I'm going to go much quicker than this 28.30 and hopefully duck under that 27 mark for the very first time. I'm super excited to hopefully finally achieve that. But otherwise, that is it for this technical analysis. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.
For more swimming content, subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Go from fitness swimmer to confident competitor by taking part in my Master Swimming Bootcamp at westcough.com/bootcamp, or watch another of my videos.